Okay, so just a nice little quick video today on a beautiful, serene, quite hazy, quite lovely autumn's day. It's quite crisp and it's a perfect day to do this video. Just a list of my kind of most warm, favourite calming fragrances. I have quite a lot of calming fragrances, but I thought I'd pick 5 and they're all kind of different. So let's get the list started. Oh, I think if I didn't mention it, I was tagged by Andreas Service Fragrances. Oh, so first on this little list is this from a brand called Rosa Salas, and Forest Mist is an inspired by version of Christian Dior's Bois d'Argent, and to be quite honest, they're very, very similar. This one maybe has a little more pine, it's perhaps a little greener maybe, but basically if you're not familiar with the DNA, it's this beautiful cloud of iris, pine and vanilla, like a big fluffy marshmallow cloud. It's a really beautiful, sensual, I don't know whether I want to eat myself or climb into myself. That's not as weird as it sounds, but you know what I mean. It's just such a beautiful, cozy fragrance that you just want to keep smelling and smelling, and it just gives you this kind of calmness. Like I mentioned the cloud because you do kind of feel like you just want to sit on a cloud. So it's hard to describe. Iris has that kind of thing about it sometimes, doesn't it? It has that kind of fluffy, almost like wearing silk round you. And obviously the vanilla gives a warm cocoon feeling, quite sweet, just beauty about it. It's not gourmand, but it does have that element of marshmallow like I kind of mentioned. So that's the first on my list, and that's Forest Mist from Rosa Salas. Now next on the list is another iris based one actually, and that is Givenchy Gentleman EDP. Now this one is, again, it's quite a close to the skin one, but it's this beautiful resinous, warm, again it's got vanilla, well this one's got more of a darker sweet resins, beautiful kind of dark woods kind of touch with it, and it's got a nice bit of kind of a smoky incense which automatically gives you that kind of relaxing feeling, and the iris just has a slight sweet floral kind of petally touch through it all, and it's a very alluring kind of calm, relaxing scent that, although it sits close, it does create this cloud, this aura around you. I think again it's more of a personal scent. It's not one you're gonna wear going out partying. It's not one that's gonna shout that you're here, but it will give you a sort of quiet, relaxed, calm confidence about yourself. And I think it's an absolutely beautiful fragrance. I've not tried any from the others Givenchy line, and again I don't know, they don't all have iris in, but there's something about iris, isn't it? It's that familiarity. People talk about the kind of make-up-y iris. Nah, maybe not so much in this one, but that make-up-y iris, I suppose, for most of us reminds everyone of their mother, doesn't it? In that kind of weird way. But obviously all of our mothers back in the day used to wear vintage makeup, I suppose it would be now, wouldn't it? And that was obviously quite heavily based on the iris, and I think that's why it's such a calming, relaxing thing. I suppose it's a little bit like hugs from your mother, isn't it, really? Or however you want to look at it. So that is Givenchy Gentleman EDP. Now of course this is me. No list of mine will be complete without my favourite house, and this one is Kilian, and in this time is Imperial Tea, And now Imperial Tea, as you can probably tell by the name, is a tea-based fragrance, but it's actually a jasmine tea-based fragrance. It is a very simple, very kind of basic note breakdown, and that's pretty much all you get, I think. It's jasmine, it's tea, I get musks, although I don't think they're kind of listed. And it is what it sounds like. It is like a beautiful, fresh jasmine tea. And the musks kind of give it that little bit of an addiction, but for me, I love jasmine. It's such a beautiful kind of, it's fresh, but it's also a calm, soothing one. I think in the summer it kind of gives you that freshness, doesn't it? It gives you that kind of, it's life, isn't it? It's beautiful white flowers, sweetness in the air, like the nectar makes you think of spring and summer. But I think in the winter it has much more of a calming aura. It's like a fresh breeze over you, isn't it? Like a calm, fresh breeze on the wind with a floral element just going up your nostrils and down inside you, giving you that kind of warm feeling. I suppose it's like, not being too philosophical, but it's like a new hope, isn't it, in the winter? These smells are going to come back to you again. They've just gone for the time being, and I think that's why I kind of warm to jasmine all year round. So from Kilian, Imperial Tea. Next, back with another very floral scent, but again this one's a bit more complex than the Kilian. But Nishane's 100 Silent Ways is basically, it's like this peachy tuberose. Maybe there's a touch of osmanthus. I don't think that's listed, but giving that more of a peachy feel. There's jasmine, just white florals. It's sweet. There's some vanilla in there to kind of stop the sharpness of the florals. There's some woods. It's very smooth. But again, it's another cocoon scent. It's another soft, warm florals, if you like. These again are them florals on a summer's day. You're lying in a meadow, they're all around you. I keep saying the soft breeze, but that's what a calming scent is to me, I think. More like a soft breeze, a veil over you of warmth and calmness. And I think white florals have that magic of being quite still, don't they? You don't really think of them flapping away in a big strong gale. They're kind of very still, very calm. And of course tuberose to me has a little bit of there's no dirtiness in this, don't get me wrong, but it does still have a bit of a carnal touch. It's like the love flower, isn't it? Something about it that kind of, personally for me, with jasmine kinds, drives me kind of wild. And it's just it's a beautiful still fragrance. And again, look, it's based on a poem, isn't it? And if you read the poem, it's kind of like this beautiful scenery, this beautiful, gorgeous calmness, isn't it? And again, the 100 Silent Ways is exactly that, a calm, still, beautiful fragrance. So yeah, Nishane's 100 Silent Ways. Now for the final one, as you can tell, I'm quite out of breath, and I've found somewhere to sit down. That's covered in flies, so I can get eaten alive with dead corpses on this and God knows what. But for the final one is actually Signature Pour Homme from George Saharoff. Now, this was a gift from the lovely George, and although I've talked about this quite a few times already because I had a little travel one, I've actually got a bottle now. And it was, like I say, it was a gift from the lovely George. And I'll go much more into depth with it round about Christmas time. I plan doing something a little bit special, so watch out for that. But this one is very calming. It's a very gentlemanly scent, and it's quite similar. They all have similarities, these fragrances actually, except this one's not more the floral one. This one is more of a kind of resinous, kind of warm, kind of, it's got frankincense and myrrh and woods in it, but also it's it's something I've started to kind of appreciate more. This isn't a fougere, so don't get excited if you like fougères or you don't like fougères. Oh sugar, this tree's collapsing. But it's got a touch of lavender and then that kind of herbaceous feel early on. It does fade, but it does linger through it. Now, something about lavender, which is surprising that I don't have more lavender fragrances in here. Lavender just gives you this air of calm. I do have other associations with lavender, and there's certain types of lavender that I can't wear for them associations. But it's actually a really kind of calming scent. It's been used for hundreds of years, hasn't it? And it gives this kind of serene feel in you. It gives you chemical reactions, doesn't it? I don't know, I'm not a scientist. But also mixing with the resins and the things like the frankincense and the myrrh and the dark woods and that obviously they're used in that kind of churchy feel, isn't it? Because again, they give this kind of ethereal, kind of taking you up kind of calmness, doesn't it? Where you kind of, I'm not saying you hallucinate and go crazy, but you kind of leave the earth, don't you? It's like awakens your soul a bit. Obviously I'll go more into the fragrance later on, but that is my final one on this list. And thank you again, George. And I might tag some people in the description, but that's Zaharoff's Signature Pour Homme. Absolutely beautiful fragrance from a very beautiful man. Right, thanks folks, bye bye. So thank you, Andreas, for the tag. What would be all of your beautiful, calm, relaxing, serene fragrances? And remember, it is tough around the world everywhere right now, but there's plenty of places in the world that suffer all year round a lot more than this. So let's remember them, folks, eh? A little bit of lockdown, it's not the end of the world. Idiots in elections on both sides are not the end of the world for us lucky folk here. So it will all pass, and let's just stay calm, protect each other, look after each other, and look after ourselves. Thanks, folks.